Hey there, egrets, how are you? These are the answers to your blue quiz from April 24th. It's the Shapes of Algebra quiz. Let me get myself organized here and I'll be ready. So if you have your quiz available and ready, why is this not working? Here we go. So here are your correct answers. Again, you're doing an aftermath for me with the corrections. I'll just give you correct answers. I'll try to give you any clues about what went wrong. Here we go. So number one, you should have ended up with, when you finish solving both of these, you should end up with Q is greater than 2 or Q is less than 3. Now if you graph that, if this is 2 and this is 3, 3, everything less than 3 is here, everything greater than 2 is here. So if this is an OR, that means you could either have this stuff or all of this stuff. And so if you shade all of that, then you end up with all real numbers. So you needed to tell me that the answer was all real numbers, because when you do that shading, that's where that ends up. So even though this is correct, it's kind of cryptic. So in order to tell somebody here's what the answer is, you need to say all real numbers. The next one, you should end up with 1/2 is less than x is less than or equal to 2. Now some of you tried to solve it just as the triple like this. Well, that's really hard because the x is everywhere. So what you needed to do was rewrite it as an and solve each of them separately, and that would have been the way to go, because otherwise it really doesn't work out. Some of you tried to do things just to two sides of this triplicate, and that does not work. So try this way, and the graph would look like this. Here is 0. Whoops, I don't mean to do that. Let me try that again. So if this is 0, and this is 1, and this is 2, you want everything between 1/2, so greater than 1/2, and less than and including 2. And that would be in here, because that's an and, not an or, and that's why you need that shading. Okay? This was really, a lot of you did this by actually doing the problem out. Notice that if you understand what this means, you don't have to do that much work. So if you look at this, you're going from -9 to -3, and halfway between would be -6. So that's your starting point. So remember that if you're doing the distance between x and -6, it would be x minus -6. That's x plus 6. So that eliminates these two right here. Also, you're doing the inside stuff, so it's in between these two things. So doesn't that look like an and? So that would be a less than. So right away, then you might have been, look, in that amount of time, we figured out, oh, no, not necessarily. It could be the E too, couldn't it? So now, look at these dots. These are filled in. So clearly those have to be or equal to, so that eliminates this one, and that makes C the answer. If you actually solved this out, that would work. I think some of you sort of guessed what it was, and then you tried to solve it to make sure it worked, and that's okay. But remember, the way this works is this is your starting point, the opposite, so it would be -6, and then the distance is 3 from the starting point, and it's less than 3 because it's inside. If it were more than 3 away, then it would be out here in this area, and in this area, that would be the greater than 3. And the or equal to, that's the other way to look at it. If the dots are shaded in, it clearly has to either be this one or this one. And how can it be less than a negative? So really, there's lots of ways that you could do process of elimination to solve this problem without actually doing it. Okay, so let's move on to the next page. This may have been the hardest page. Remember, you have to do 2 cases for all of them. If you have difficulty with any of this, let me know. I can help you. Letter A is, first of all, isolate the absolute value first, and many of you missed that part. That's important. When you finish, you get x is greater than or equal to 3, or x is less than or equal to -2. Saying and or is very important. -2, 0, 2, 4. So you have to be greater than 3 or less than -2. So that was a very straightforward one. I kind of like that one. This was the hardest one on the test, and purposely I made it hard, you know, because you need to see as hard as it'll get. Isolate first, so you have -4, absolute y minus 3 is greater than -1. And then when you divide by -4, that needs to flip the sign over, my friends. So it would be less than or equal to 1/4. Then you make your 2 cases. I'm only going to get you this far, and then I'll let you go ahead and solve these. And y is minus 3 is greater than or equal, whoops, that doesn't look like a greater than, does it? So greater than or equal to -1/4. When you solve both of those, your correct answer would be, I did most of the work here, didn't I? 2 3/4 is less than y is less than 3 1/4. So if this is 2, and this is 3, 3, I want everything greater than 2 3/4. I don't want dots there. Let me fix that a little bit. There we go. and everything less than 3 1/4. And it has to be both of those at the same time, so that's in here. So this is 2 3/4. This is 3 1/4. So then a lot of you got to this point, and you did fine, and then you get down here and it says, using your solution to part B, if y is non-negative, please tell me what y has to be. A non-negative integer. Integer means no fractions. So if you go up here and you look at this, the only number in here that's not a fraction is 3. So therefore your correct answer is y equals 3. Now, if you had a wrong answer in part B, then I would probably, if you have difficulties and want to know what it would have been, I can help you with that. But a lot of you just looked at it and didn't know what it was saying. Look, it's not asking for anything unusual. It just says if this is an integer and it's not negative, which it can't be anyway, just tell me what the answer is. Okay? All right. These were fairly straightforward. I'm just going to give you the correct answers. This one, a lot of you did not solve for y first, which you absolutely should have. So the slope here is -2. I want a perpendicular, so therefore I'm going to use a slope of 1/2. So y equals 1/2 x. Any line, so you could put anything in for the y-intercept here. Passing through these 2 points, you need the slope first. The slope should come out to 1/3. Again, I want to see your work. Show me that you can find that. I used point slope, so I did y minus 3 equals 1/3 x minus 4. That would be fine. Or if you chose to do y equals mx plus b, you could have said that to go find b, you could have said 3 equals 1/3 times 4 plus b, and then go find b. That would be fine too. You should get b equals 5/3, and then the answer would be y equals 1/3 x plus 5/3. So either way that you chose to do this problem was totally fine with me. This one I said you must use point slope. So the equation is y minus y1, so that would be the 3, equals m. They tell you the slope is -2 times x plus 1. And then if you put it into standard form, distribute and move things around, show me your work, and you should get 2x plus y equals 1. Okay, for this one, at this point I think you guys are pretty good at this. The x-intercept is 2, the y-intercept is -4, and one other point, so any point that you find would be fine with me. It should look like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm in a hurry here, I got people waiting for help, so I'm just going to draw it like this. Hey, that's pretty straight. And probably ought to label too, so I'll do that. Okay. Any questions about that, please come see me. Slope-intercept form. The correct answer to this is y equals -3/2 x minus 6. Show your work. Solve by graphing. This one, I did them both by intercepts. Well, not true. The x-intercept for this one is 6. The y-intercept is -6, so it looks like this. So that's x minus y equals 6. For this one, it's interesting. When you find the intercepts, you get 0, 0. So a lot of you said, gee, now I don't know what to do. Well, what you need to do is figure out other points that work. So 2x plus y equals 0. Try anything. Let's say that x equals 4. So 2 times 4 plus y equals 0. Oh, 8's going to be at a bad number, but that's okay. I can fake it. So y equals -8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you can graph this line. Okay, that's pretty straight too. Go me. So I think the intersection should be this point, which is 2, -4. So your answer is the 2, -4. If you have difficulties with that graphing, please come see me because that's really important. This one, go find your slope. The correct answer is C. So if that, I know that was kind of fast. If you need to go back over something, let me know. If you need my help with any of it, please let me know. I will be here to help you. Good luck with that aftermath. Talk to you soon. Bye.